When the system collapses and convenience turns to chaos, the cheapest, most ignored items in your home will become survival gold. Forget the flashy prepper gear or overpriced gadgets. This is about the everyday stuff sitting in your kitchen drawer, garage, or laundry room. The things no one's guarding. The things no one's thinking about yet. When the grid goes down, you won't be shopping, you'll be scavenging. And the people who already own these overlooked essentials, they won't just survive, they'll thrive. They'll control the trade. In this video, I'm breaking down 9 dirt-cheap household items that'll skyrocket in value when everything falls apart. These aren't on your typical prepper lists, but trust me, you'll wish you had them when the world goes quiet. So if you're serious about staying ahead, hit that subscribe button now. Don't wait until it's too late. Let's get into it. 1. Vacuum seal bags with manual pump, the silent survival vault. Most people think of vacuum seal bags as a way to save closet space or keep seasonal clothes tidy. But in a collapse scenario, these unassuming storage bags become one of the smartest survival tools you can own. Why? Because they're not just organizers, they're protectors. They're silent, airtight shields that safeguard your food, gear, and supplies from the chaos that thrives in a world without order. Here's the harsh truth. Collapse is messy. Moisture seeps into everything. Mold grows where you least expect it. Rodents and insects sniff out your supplies like they've been training for this moment. And once your stored items are damp, contaminated, or chewed through, they're gone. There's no running to the store for replacements. There's no second chance. But with vacuum seal bags, you create an airtight fortress around your essentials, locking out the very elements that destroy unprotected supplies. These bags aren't just for clothes. I've used them to seal dry goods like rice, oats, and pasta. I've packed socks, fire starters, and even sensitive documents. Once sealed, nothing gets in. No air, no moisture, no pests, and when paired with a manual pump, you don't even need electricity to compress them. You can vacuum seal your supplies anywhere, anytime, keeping them compact and ready to move at a moment's notice. In a bug-out scenario, space is everything. Imagine needing to carry 3 days' worth of supplies in a single backpack. Regular storage is bulky, noisy, and inefficient. But vacuum-sealed packs, they're streamlined, silent, and protected. You're not just carrying supplies, you're carrying peace of mind. And when you show up at a barter post with airtight packs of clean food while others are battling mildew and contamination, you're not just trading, you're negotiating from a position of power. I keep over 30 vacuum seal bags in my prep stash. Some are pre-packed with essentials, while others are empty with pumps attached, ready to go. They weigh almost nothing and cost next to nothing. But the value they protect is priceless. Collapse doesn't just punish the unprepared, it punishes the careless. A ripped bag or soggy bundle can turn your advantage into desperation in seconds. So ask yourself, are you storing smart, or are you trusting cardboard boxes in hope? Because in a world where survival favors the prepared, the person with vacuum-sealed supplies isn't just surviving, they're thriving. 2. Rubber door stoppers. The silent security upgrade. Rubber door stoppers. They sound boring, like something you'd find collecting dust in a forgotten corner of your home improvement drawer. But when the world goes dark and chaos takes over, these small, silent tools become one of the most effective security upgrades you can have. No batteries, no noise, no complicated setup. Just pure mechanical control over something that matters more than most people realize: your doors. Here's the reality. When systems fail, the most dangerous thing isn't just what's outside, it's who can get inside. Your doors become both your first line of defense and your greatest vulnerability. And while most people scramble for locks, chains, and barricades they forgot to prep, the person with a handful of rubber wedges is already securing every entry point without making a sound. Rubber door stoppers do more than just hold doors open. In a collapse, they become fast deploy barriers. Jam one under a door at night, and it's not opening without noise or force. That gives you time to react, time to move, time to protect what's yours. I've seen them used to block entry during storms, hold doors open for ventilation without them slamming, and even wedge windows shut against pressure. They're compact, nearly indestructible, and require no tools, keys, or battery. Just shove and forget. Need to leave a door slightly cracked for airflow but don't want it swinging wide in the wind? Door stopper. Need to silently brace an interior door in a group shelter without waking everyone up? Door stopper. Want to stop a curious looter, a desperate stranger, or even just the wind from blowing your security wide open? This tiny wedge becomes your tactical anchor. I carry 4 in my go bag, thick rubber tapered tight and tested on tile, wood, and concrete. You'd be surprised how many people try to kick in a door and stop cold when they hit a dead wedge. I've even bartered one for food in a crowded camp because when people can't sleep without fear, even a little security becomes priceless. So ask yourself, do your doors open quietly, or are you the only one who decides when they open? Because in a collapse, the person with the wedge is the person who stays inside. And that's exactly where you want to be. 3. Metal mesh strainer. The survival filter you didn't know you needed. It's probably sitting in your kitchen drawer right now, used for rinsing rice or draining pasta. Nothing special, right? But in a collapse scenario, that same metal mesh strainer becomes a critical piece of survival gear that most people will overlook until it's too late. Why? Because when systems fail and you're left with raw, dirty, or scavenged supplies, a fine mesh barrier becomes your first line of filtration and prep. Let's be clear. Collapse doesn't mean clean conditions. Water won't be safe. Food won't be washed. Ashes, insects, dirt, and debris will become part of daily survival, and the person who can separate usable from dangerous without fancy gear or a lab, that's the person who keeps moving forward. A fine mesh strainer lets you pre-filter water before purifying it, removing leaves, sand, algae, and other debris. It's not a purifier, it's a gatekeeper. And every second you save your main filter from clogging is a step closer to long-term survival. But it doesn't stop at water. You can sift flour, ash for soap making, wild grains, or even bugs and debris out of salvaged dry goods. Need to rinse wild herbs or roots? Mesh strainer. Need to cool down small cooked items fast? Mesh strainer. Foraging in bulk but need to check for rocks or waste. This tool turns chaos into order with zero noise, no power, and full control. And here's the kicker. It's metal. That means it can handle heat, be disinfected fire, and take a beating. Drop it, still works. Burn it, still filters. That cheap plastic junk, gone in a week. I keep one clipped inside my field pack, stainless steel, medium fine mesh, tested on both food and water. It weighs almost nothing but pays off big every time I need to process wild or unknown goods. I've even used it to sift crushed charcoal for an improvised water filter. The guy watching me traded a knife just to get his hands on it. So ask yourself, when your clean food runs out and your water looks cloudy, do you have a tool to separate what you can use from what might kill you? Because in a collapse, the person who filters doesn't just survive, they filter out failure. 4 hardcover books. The Forgotten Survival Library. Take a look at your bookshelf. Those dusty, forgotten hardcover books you haven't touched in years, they might just be one of the most valuable survival tools you own when the collapse hits. And no, it's not just about the knowledge they hold, it's about the power they give you in a world where information becomes a rare commodity. When the grid goes down, so does Google. No more YouTube tutorials, no forums, no quick searches to solve your problems. It's just you, your group, and what you actually know. And let's face it, memory alone won't cut it when you're trying to identify edible plants, build a shelter, or treat a wound. That's where those old books come in. A survival manual, a guide to wild edibles, or even a basic mechanics book suddenly becomes more than just paper. It becomes a lifeline. Hardcover books are durable. They can withstand rough handling, humidity, and even serve as makeshift tools in a pinch. I've used a thick encyclopedia to prop up a solar panel during a storm, and it held firm without bending. But their value goes beyond practicality. In a collapse, morale is just as important as food and water. A good book can provide a mental escape, a way to teach your kids, or even a way to keep your mind sharp when the days get long and brutal. And let's not forget barter value. I've traded a wilderness survival guide for a week's worth of canned food because someone needed to know which wild herbs were safe to use. I've seen entire communities rely on a single medical manual when no doctors were around. Knowledge isn't just power, it's currency. I keep a small library of essential books sealed in bins with silica packets to keep them dry. My collection includes a field medicine guide, a book on edible plants of North America, and a condensed world encyclopedia set I found at a thrift store. When the power's gone, those books will still be there, ready to guide me through whatever comes next. So ask yourself, when the internet disappears and everyone's left guessing? Will you be the one with the answer? Because in a collapse, the person with the books doesn't just survive, they lead, they teach, and they thrive. 5. Jute twine, the silent workhorse of survival. It's just a roll of string, right? Something you use to tie up packages or hang plants. But when the collapse comes, jute twine transforms into one of the most versatile and underrated survival tools you can own. It's not flashy, it's not tactical, but it gets the job done quietly and efficiently. Something half the gear in your bug-out bag can't claim. In a world without fuel or functioning systems, everything becomes manual. Building shelters, bundling gear, hanging supplies, setting traps, it all starts with securing something. And while most people think of paracord as the go-to solution, it's bulky, loud, and overkill for many tasks. Jute twine, on the other hand, is lightweight, flexible, and easy to replace. It's the quiet hero of survival cordage. Jute is biodegradable, which makes it perfect for tasks like setting snares, tying down garden plants, or creating perimeter trip alarm. Use it once, leave it behind, and nature takes care of the rest. It's strong enough to handle tension, but easy to break in an emergency. I've used it to rig clotheslines, repair torn tarps, and even hang solar lights during night watch. And because it blends into natural surroundings, it's ideal for stealth operations. Bright orange paracord might as well be a neon sign, but jute twine disappears into the environment. Barter value through the roof. People always underestimate how much cordage they'll need. I've traded clean, dry bundles of jute for food and supplies in camps where others were struggling to secure their gear. I keep rolls of it vacuum sealed and pre-cut into manageable lengths. One roll stays in my go bag, and I weave strips of it into my fire kit because, yes, jute also makes excellent tinder. So when it's time to build, hang, trap, or fix, will you have the right cordage? Because in a collapse, the person with the quietest rope stays secure, stays hidden, and stays ahead. 6. Eyeglass repair kit. The tiny tool that saves the day. It's small, cheap, and easy to overlook. You probably haven't even thought about your eyeglass repair kit unless your glasses broke. But in a collapse, that tiny kit becomes one of the most valuable micro tools you can carry. Why? Because when precision and durability are the difference between survival and failure, those little screws and micro tools can save the day. Here's the reality. The smallest failures can have the biggest consequences. A loose screw, a broken hinge, or a bent wire on your glasses, watch, or gear can knock you out of the game if you don't have the means to fix it. And let's be honest, collapse doesn't come with spare parts. That's where the eyeglass repair kit shines. It's not just for glasses. Those tiny flathead and Phillips screwdrivers are perfect for tuning radios, tightening knife pivots, or maintaining weapon optics. I've even used the magnetized driver to fix a stove igniter that everyone else thought was beyond repair. It took 2 minutes and saved us a week's worth of fuel. The screws? They're lifesaver. I've used them to patch loose hinges on gearboxes, resecure solar panel mounts, and even replace a lost bolt in a multi-tool. And because the kit is so small and lightweight, you can carry it everywhere. I keep one in my go bag, one in my tool pouch, and one sealed in my long-term storage bin. They take up no space but offer massive utility. Barter value? Huge. I once traded a kit for canned meat because a guy's only pair of glasses fell apart and no one else could fix them. In a world where even the smallest breakdown can spiral into disaster, having the tools to handle precision repairs is a game changer. So ask yourself, when the fine details start to fail, when a hinge goes loose or a screw strips, will you have the tools to fix it? Because in a collapse, it's not always the big things that bring you down. Sometimes, it's the smallest screw that holds everything together. 7. Old pillowcases. The multi-tool you never knew you had. You've probably got a few old pillowcases stuffed in the back of your closet. Faded, stretched out, maybe even stained. Most people wouldn't think twice about tossing them in the trash. But when the world flips upside down and survival becomes the new normal, those same pillowcases turn into one of the most versatile tools you'll ever own. They're not just fabric, they're survival gold. Here's the deal. Collapse doesn't come with convenience. You won't have endless clean filters, sterile bags, or perfectly designed gear for every situation. You'll need to adapt, and that's where a simple cotton pillowcase becomes a lifesaver. It's breathable, durable, and endlessly reusable. A blank canvas for survival ingenuity. Need a quick field bag, not the corners, and you've got a soft, quiet pouch for foraging, carrying supplies, or storing tools. Need to filter water? Run your source water through the fabric before boiling. It won't purify, but it'll trap sediment and debris, giving you cleaner water and extending the life of your main filter. In a dust storm or smoky environment, wet it, wrap it around your face, and you've got a makeshift dust mask or smoke barrier. Someone gets injured, that pillowcase becomes a sling, a tourniquet, or even a wound pack when medical supplies run low. But it doesn't stop there. I've used pillowcases to line boots for extra insulation, patch up torn tents, and even black out windows when stealth was more important than ventilation. And when the nights get cold and gear is limited, you can stuff one with grass, leaves, or spare clothes to create an instant pillow or insulation layer. That's not just comfort, it's survival. Most people throw old pillowcases away without a second thought. I collect them, washed, folded, and sealed in storage bins. They're lightweight, low bulk, and high value. I once traded 2 pillowcases for a working headlamp because someone needed clean fabric for dust masks and had nothing else to use. In a world where every resource counts, even something as simple as an old pillowcase can give you an edge. So ask yourself, when the collapse comes, will you be scrambling for gear you overlooked? Or will you be the one turning forgotten fabric into survival solution? Because in a world where adaptability is everything, the person with a stash of old pillowcases doesn't just survive. They thrive. 8. Stainless steel mixing bowl. The survival all-rounder. It's sitting in your kitchen right now, probably used for mixing pancake batter or tossing a salad. But when the collapse hits, that stainless steel mixing bowl becomes one of the most versatile survival tools you didn't know you already owned. It's not just a bowl, it's a multi-purpose workhorse that can handle cooking, cleaning, signaling, and more. Let's start with cooking. Stainless steel can take direct heat, which means you can set it over an open flame to boil water, cook food, or steam wild greens. It's lightweight compared to cast iron, but just as reliable when it comes to heat transfer. I've boiled drinking water in mine countless times over a campfire, and it's never warped or failed. When you're out of pots and pans, that bowl becomes your go-to cooking tool. But it's not just about food. In a survival situation, sanitation is critical. You'll need a way to wash bandages, clean gear, and prep food safely. That same bowl doubles as a wash basin, giving you a controlled space to clean and sterilize. Add a drop of bleach, and you've got a makeshift sterilization station for tools or wound care. Need to catch rainwater. Use the bowl. Need to reflect sunlight for signaling. Flip it over and let the steel do the work. I've even used mine to amplify a weak light source in a dark room by placing it behind a candle or small flame. And let's not forget barter value. When clean, durable cookware becomes scarce, people will trade high to get their hands on it. I've seen someone trade away ammo just to get a second bowl, because their group needed to cook in shifts. Stainless steel is durable, washable, and endlessly reusable. It doesn't crack like glass or melt like plastic, making it a long-term asset in any survival scenario. I keep 2 stainless steel bowls in my prep stash, one in my field gear and one sealed in long-term storage. They're lightweight, stackable, and worth their weight in gold when the grid goes down. So ask yourself, when clean water, heat, and food prep become mission critical, will you have the one tool that can handle it all? Because in a collapse, the person with the steel bowl isn't just surviving, they're thriving. 9. Silicone baking mats. The unsung hero of survival gear. You probably use them to keep cookies from sticking to your baking sheet, but in a survival situation, silicone baking mats become one of the most underrated and versatile tools in your arsenal. They're not flashy, they're not tactical, but they're incredibly practical, and when you break down what they can do, they're nothing short of genius. Here's the thing. In a collapse, clean surfaces are a luxury. You can't trust every table, rock, or log to be safe for food prep, medicine, or first aid. That's where silicone mats come in. They're waterproof, heat-resistant, flexible, and reusable hundreds of times. Need a clean surface to prep food or roll out dough? Use the mat. Need to dry herbs or sliced roots under the sun? Lay them out on the mat. Need a sterile area to handle medical supplies? The mat's got you covered. But it doesn't stop there. Silicone mats are heat-resistant, which makes them perfect for insulating your cooking setup. In wet or snowy conditions, Placing a mat under your fire starter or cooking pot can keep moisture from ruining your efforts. I've used one to light tinder in the snow, saving myself hours of frustration. They're also flexible enough to fold into a funnel for pouring dry goods into tight containers, a task that's nearly impossible with makeshift tools like bark or foil. And let's talk durability. Silicone mats are nearly indestructible. They're easy to clean, roll up for compact storage, and last for years. I keep one in every major kit, field bag, vehicle bin, and long-term stash. I've even bartered one for antibiotics because a family needed a clean food prep surface and everything they had was contaminated. In a world where resources are limited, a flat, sterile, reusable surface is worth its weight in gold. So think about it. When clean surfaces, insulation, and versatility become critical, will you have the tool that does it all? Because in a collapse, the person with the silicone mat isn't just surviving. They're solving problems others didn't even see coming. Bonus point 1. Aluminum foil, the lightweight survival shield. Aluminum foil is one of those household items that's so common you probably don't even think about it. It's sitting in your kitchen drawer, waiting to wrap leftovers or line a baking sheet. But in a survival scenario, aluminum foil becomes a lightweight, multi-purpose tool that can save you time, energy, and resources. Let's start with cooking. Aluminum foil is heat-resistant and malleable, making it perfect for cooking over an open flame. You can wrap food in it to create a makeshift oven, trapping heat and moisture to cook evenly. I've used it to bake fish, roast vegetables, and even cook rice in the coals of a fire. It's lightweight, so you can carry a roll in your pack without adding bulk, and it's reusable if you handle it carefully. But cooking is just the beginning. Aluminum foil can also be used to create a reflective surface, which is invaluable in a survival situation. Need to signal for help? A sheet of foil can reflect sunlight over long distances, acting as a makeshift signal mirror. Need to keep warm? Line the inside of your shelter with foil to reflect heat back toward you. I've even seen people use it to create a solar cooker, focusing sunlight to boil water or cook food. Foil is also a great insulator. Wrap it around your water bottle to keep liquids warm or cold for longer. Use it to line the inside of a makeshift windbreak to protect your fire from gusts. And if you're dealing with electronics, foil can act as a Faraday cage, protecting small devices like radios or flash drives from electromagnetic pulses. And let's not forget its utility in repairs. Got a loose battery connection in your flashlight? Fold a small piece of foil to bridge the gap. Need to patch a small hole in your gear? Foil and duct tape can create a temporary fix. I've even used it to create a makeshift funnel for pouring liquids into narrow containers. So, when you're packing your survival kit, don't overlook the humble role of aluminum foil. It's cheap, lightweight, and endlessly versatile. In a collapse, the person who knows how to use foil isn't just resourceful. They're unstoppable. Bonus point 2, plastic zip ties. The silent problem solvers. Plastic zip ties are the unsung heroes of the modern world. You've probably used them to bundle cables or secure a loose item. But in a survival situation, these little strips of plastic become indispensable. They're lightweight, strong, and incredibly versatile, making them a must-have for any prepper. Let's talk about their strength. Despite their small size, zip ties can hold a surprising amount of weight. Need to secure gear to your pack? Use a zip tie. Need to repair a broken strap or buckle? A zip tie can hold it together until you find a permanent fit. I've even used them to attach tools to a makeshift belt when I needed quick access. Zip ties are also great for building and securing shelters. Use them to lash branches together for a sturdy frame, or to secure a tarp in place when you're out of rope. They're quick to deploy and don't require any knots, which is a huge advantage when you're working in the dark or under stress. I've seen people use zip ties to create improvised tripods for cooking or to secure a solar panel to a tree for better sunlight exposure. And then there's security. In a collapse, keeping your gear safe is just as important as having it in the first place. Use zip ties to secure zippers on your pack, making it harder for someone to steal your supplies without you noticing. Need to set up a quick perimeter alarm? Attach a few noisy items like cans or bells to a zip tie and string it across a path. If someone trips it, you'll know. Zip ties are also invaluable for medical emergencies. They can be used to secure splints, create a makeshift tourniquet, or even hold bandages in place when tape isn't available. I've carried a small bundle of zip ties in my first aid kit for years, and they've come in handy more times than I can count. The best part, zip ties are dirt cheap and take up almost no space. I keep a variety of sizes in my go bag, from small ties for delicate tasks to heavy-duty ones for larger jobs. In a world where every tool needs to earn its place, zip ties prove their worth time and time again. Bonus point 3. Baking soda. The survival Swiss Army powder. Baking soda is one of those items that seems too simple to be useful in a survival scenario. But don't let its humble appearance fool you. This little box of powder is a survival powerhouse. From cleaning to cooking to first aid, baking soda has a role to play in almost every aspect of post-collapse life. Let's start with hygiene. In a world without running water or soap, staying clean becomes a challenge. Baking soda can be used as a natural deodorant, toothpaste, and even a gentle scrub for cleaning your skin. Mix it with a little water to create a paste, and you've got a multi-purpose cleaner that's safe for both you and your gear. I've used it to clean pots, scrub grime off tools, and even freshen up musty clothes. Baking soda is also a lifesaver in the kitchen. It's a leavening agent, which means you can use it to make bread, pancakes, or other baked goods when yeast isn't available. It's also great for tenderizing meat, neutralizing acidic flavors, and even putting out small grease fires. I always keep a small bag of baking soda in my food storage. It's lightweight, long-lasting, and incredibly versatile. But the benefits don't stop there. Baking soda is a natural antacid, which makes it invaluable for treating indigestion or heartburn, common issues when your diet changes suddenly. It can also be used to soothe insect bites, sunburns, and minor skin irritation. Just mix it with water to create a soothing paste, or add it to a bath for full-body relief. And let's not forget its role in water purification. While baking soda won't purify water on its own, it can be used to adjust the pH of water before or after treatment, making it safer to drink. I've even used it to clean out water containers and remove lingering odors. Baking soda is cheap, lightweight, and endlessly useful. I keep a small container in my go bag and a larger stash in my long-term storage. In a collapse, the person who knows how to use baking soda isn't just surviving, they're thriving.